In this video, I'm going to show you the people feature on the My Projects tab of your newspaper archive account. Super cool feature, and if you haven't seen it or tried it, you definitely need to. So what I'm going to do first is make sure I'm logged in, so I can see I'm logged in here. I have my username in the upper right hand corner, and I'm going to go to My Projects. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And in other videos, we've talked about some of the other features on My Projects page. And today we're going to focus on this one here, people. So I'm going to click on that. And I currently have one person that I've already created in my people page. So this is my third great grandfather. So I was able to upload a photo of him, and then I put in his birth date and his death date. It tells me that's about how old he was when he died. And you can see then down here, I've got currently one image, is this image that I uploaded of him, and I have one clipping. So if I click on that clipping, I can see this is the clipping that I made, and when you are saving a clipping, you can actually add people. That's one of your options. And so after I added him here on my people page, I could then add him to that clipping, and I'll show you how to do that here in just a minute. So the other thing that I want you to notice, this is the really cool feature, is this articles to be curated, and I have 351. So if I click this tab right here for click for uncurated count, there are 351 articles based on the information that I entered about him. I put in birth and death dates, location I had, and some information about his wife and his children. So just kind of minimal information, and I have a bunch of articles. Now, this one here is telling me the name of it. You get a small thumbnail of it, and you get some OCR text here about that article. I know this isn't him because he was never in New Zealand, so I can say this is not a match. But down here, I see this one from the Greensburg Standard, and that is where he lived. He was the only warder Hamilton that was in that location at the time. So that's probably a good match. Most of these with the Greensburg are going to be. But what I can do is I can click on this Greensburg Standard, and it's going to take me to that actual page, and then I'm going to find him on this page. So I'm going to put in just his first name, because usually it finds it. And so let's see what this brings up. So this is talking about him, and that is definitely my guy. So I'm going to show you now how I can clip that and add that to him. So I'm going to clip, and then I'm going to put my box around that section of the newspaper page, and I'm going to go ahead and say clip. And then I do actually have a folder that I've created and I keep, but I don't necessarily need to when I use people. So this, I saved it to that folder, but I could have a folder, that's family research or whatever. But here's what I want to show you. Here underneath category, I have add person. And when I do the drop down, I see him. He's the only one I have added so far. And so I'm going to click on save. And that has been saved successfully. It's in my family research folder now, but if I close out of here, I'm going to close this tab, and I'm going to go back to this page, and I'm going to actually refresh, because I clipped while I had that page open. So now if I come here, you're going to see that I have two clippings that I have created for him. So if I click on that, then you can see there's that clipping that I just made. So this click for curated is kind of newspaper archive going out and searching the parameters of the information that you put in about that person and getting rid of it. So I'm going to click on no, because I definitely don't want that one. But I can go through here and look at these different ones, and I could do a new search. So it is really cool what you can do with these people. So let me show you how I can add that person. Here at the top of people is create, but I'm actually going to go back out to the home page just to show you again how I got here. So I'm going to go up to my projects, and then I'm going to go to people. And underneath people, I'm back on that page. I'm going to say create people, and here I'm going to put in the name of my second great grandfather. And then I'm just putting in just some basic information about him. So he died in 1847. And when you put in this information, just know that once I put in the information and I save it, it does take a minute or two. It's not necessarily instantaneous, but in a minute or two, you're definitely going to have articles that have been curated for that person. In your, no, he was on the 17th. You're going to have that in that account. So I'm going to put in here Greensburg again, just so that I can kind of get a leg up on the location. And it was also his death. He was in Greensburg, Indiana, and he was male. I'm not going to put in any other information about people. I'm just going to do him for now. And I'm going to say add people. And then you'll notice that there's just kind of a placeholder for his image. We have our celebrity placeholder, Abe Lincoln. I added the one for my third great grandfather, but here you have him. Now I want you to look. All I did was click on save that person, and you can see I already have 292 articles to be curated. And again, to get to that, I can click on click for uncurated content. And again, he was the only Brutus Hamilton that was in Greensburg at the time. But again, I can go to the newspaper, I can search for him, find him, and then look to see if this is indeed my person. And actually, gosh, there's multiple about him. So 3 of the 4 in this section right here are about him. So I'm just going to actually clip that whole section since there's so much about him in that little bit. And I'm going to say clip. Again, I do have a folder for him, but I wouldn't necessarily need to put it into that special folder because now I have that option underneath my people to add him and save him. And then all of my clippings that I am saving for him are going to be in that special section of people that's just all about him. So again, if I come here, I can see now that I've got one clipping, click on that, and there's the clipping. So all of your clippings for those ancestors that you are curating are all in one location. So if you haven't tried out the people feature on my projects on your newspaper archive account, I encourage you to try it today. Happy searching.